Discover the incredible life-changing secrets of Earth's Mesozoic Era. Hidden wonders revealed. The words glimmer like gold in Carol's imagination. They dance behind her tired eyes during her morning coffee shift at the diner, swirling with dreams of a better life. A life her late husband, James, had painted with passion and hope, filled with echoes of dinosaurs crashing through her thoughts like ancient thunder. Each dawn, she pulls herself from the warmth of her faded sheets, careful not to wake Jenna and Mike, her two bright stars in a dim world. She often thinks of James as she brews coffee, how excited he would be been to lead the kids on dinosaur dig adventures. But now, with bills piling high, it feels like all she can offer them is the reality of struggle. And yet every day she insists you too can be anything you want. It's her mantra, filled with both faith and desperation. Today, with a heavy heart in her chest, she takes a wrong turn on her break. Instead of the bustling diner, she finds herself at the quiet, forgotten Maplewood Library. Dust hangs in the light, and the faint smell of old paper wraps around her like an embrace. As she strolls through the rows, she catches herself remembering the nights they spent here, her husband perusing volumes of dusty tomes on ancient Earth while she watched him light up with every discovery. Suddenly, something slips and tumbles to the floor, the well-worn spine of a dinosaur book parting to reveal a tattered journal. Her heart races as she brushes the dust off, revealing James' careful handwriting, meticulous notes, and stroke-by-stroke maps. The words pulse with promise, hinting at a hidden archaeological site right beyond their town, a place that could house secrets of long-lost giants. Excitement flickers within her. This might be the answer to their troubles, a chance to resurrect not just her family's dreams, but Maplewood's very soul. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. But as hope ignites, so does conflict. Word spreads quickly, splitting Maplewood in two, one side dreaming of jobs and tourists flooding their town, the other wary of dreams painted in gold, believing it to be nothing but smoke and mirrors. Carol can feel the eyes of skeptics, their laughter an arrow aimed directly at her. A single mom? Leading a dig? They snicker, just as despair threatens to clutch her heart. Her estranged brother, a local veteran, comes back into her life. With grit and camaraderie, he stands by her side. Maplewood can't afford to give up, he says, his voice rousing something deep within the community. Together, they ignite a spark, a gathering of brothers and sisters, a chance for resurgence. As they delve deeper into breaking ground, the air crackles with tension. Doubt looms heavy like storm clouds, but the first hints of gleaming bones seep through the soil. Carol's hands shake with uncertainty. Will this uncovering unify them, or drive them apart into chaos? The stakes grow higher, and every heartbeat counts. As she faces the future of her town on the edge of possibility, the question remains, can she transform dreams into reality, or will the whispers of the past drown out the sounds of hope? The sun hung low in the sky, casting an amber glow over Maplewood. It brought a warm promise, yet beneath its shine, trails of tension slithered through the town. As Carol arrived back at the diner after another long shift, doubts lingered like an unwelcome guest. Is this really going to work? She thought, slipping through the diner door. The bell chimed, but the usual bustling energy felt muted. She caught a glimpse of Mike and Jenna nestled in a booth, their eyes glued to a dinosaur book, oblivious to the world. Her heart swelled with a mix of pride and fear. Could she truly deliver on the dreams she spoke so loudly? "Hey, Mom!" Jenna shouted, excitedly flipping the pages. "Look, they found a whole T-Rex skeleton." The joy in her daughter's voice clashed against the noise in Carol's mind. Just look at the hope in their eyes, she reminded herself. Across the room, a familiar face wove through the tables. Ethan, her brother, approached with the swagger only a seasoned veteran could muster. "Got the maps?" he asked, determination etched into his features. "Right here," she replied, handing him the journal she clutched like a lifeline. The ink felt warm beneath her fingers, carrying whispers of James. This was his dream. "I just hope I can do it justice." Ethan nodded but said nothing. They both knew the challenge ahead. The tension of divided townsfolk often felt like a chokehold, wrapping tighter with each passing conversation. Rising from whispers to full-blown arguments, skepticism brewed. Why should we trust her? They'd say. But, for her brother, it was about something deeper than approval. It was about carving a path forward even if the world themselves feared it. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows, the diner filled with customers. Carol worked the floor like a veteran herself, pouring coffee, serving plates, and exchanging smiles. But as faces turned to her, whispers echoed. She felt each eye weighing her worth, their hopes and doubts stitched together. And it was no longer just about her. "Hey, Carol," called out Tom, the local skeptic who never concealed his disdain. "Still chasing dinosaur dreams? You've got a long way to go, you know." A wave of contempt washed over her. "I'm not giving up," she asserted, trying to find grounding amid the turmoil. "We can change this town, just wait and see." But Tom only chuckled, shaking his head. That evening, after the diner closed, Carol and Ethan gathered the few supporters they had left around a flickering campfire at the edge of town. The chill of evening air ran a shiver down her spine, but it simmered with energy. This was their spark, their chance to ignite change. "We're going to uncover that site, no matter what it takes," Ethan declared, the firelight reflecting in his determined eyes. "We'll show everyone what Maplewood can be." As she looked into the faces surrounding the fire, people who dared to believe, the warmth of hope surged through her. But lurking on the fringes, she could still feel uncertainty pressing in. "Are we really ready for this?" she wondered, her uncertainty battling against the rising tide of hope. Could they truly do it without tearing the community apart? Just then, a sudden rustle in the bushes broke the moment. A figure appeared, silhouetted against the firelight. Carol's heart raced. Was it a supporter or a skeptic ready to cause trouble? "Who's there?" she called out, a mixture of fear clashing with the promise of discovery igniting within her. As the figure stepped closer, the shadows shifted. What they uncovered could change everything or throw them into chaos. The figure emerged from the bushes, and Carol squinted against the firelight, trying to make out the identity of the person who was interrupting their gathering. Each step seemed measured, echoing in the stillness of the night. It felt like everything hung in the balance. Hope balanced against the weight of fear. "What's going on out here?" the figure said, staring back at the group with wide eyes. It was Mia, the quiet girl from school who always drew pictures of dinosaurs. "I heard you talking about the dig." Carol felt the tension in the air shift slightly. Mia had always been a loner, an artist in a world that didn't seem to understand her imagination. But in this moment, she felt like a bridge between dreams and reality. "Mia," Carol smiled, relief flooding her heart. "We're planning to uncover that dinosaur site. You should join us." "No. I mean," Mia's brows furrowed with an intensity that Carol had never seen before. "I have something. You need to see it." She fished a crumpled piece of paper from her pocket and approached the fire. Ethan leaned in, intrigued. "What is it?" he asked, eyes straining to catch a glimpse. "It's a drawing I made. I think it's a map." She uncrumpled it gingerly, revealing a sketch of the area surrounding the diner. "I've been exploring the woods after school, and I found a spot that might lead to something special." Carol felt a surge of excitement. Could this be the break they were searching for? "This is amazing, Mia. If it leads to fossils or a site, it could mean everything for us." But the ground was different. Mia continued, her voice trembling a bit. "I could feel it, like the earth was waiting for us to uncover something. I don't know what, but it felt important." Ethan threw a glance at Carol, a grin spreading across his face. "Looks like we may have found a guide to our journey. What do you say we get her in on this adventure?" The campfire crackled, and Carol saw new life in the faces around her. Even Tom, who had loomed over them like a dark cloud, appeared contemplative. What if it leads straight to trouble? He scoffed, but his words carried less weight. The more Carol thought about Mia's discovery, the more she felt a growing light in her chest, one that could transcend old fears and rekindle the town's fading spirit. "We've got to check it out," she urged, the conviction rising in her voice. "This could be our chance to show everyone that there's more than just skepticism. It's about rediscovering who we are. What if it isn't what we expect?" Tom questioned again, crossing his arms. "But what if it is?" Carol shot back, determination coloring her tone. "What if this leads to something wonderful, something that could unite us instead of divide us?" The fire danced, sending sparks into the cool air, and without realizing it, a feeling of unity began to weave its way through the group. "Mia," Carol turned to her, "are you ready to lead us?" Mia hesitated but then nodded, her eyes reflecting both uncertainty and courage. As the group huddled closer, words of excitement began to fill the air. Plans started to take shape. Possibilities began swirling like the smoke from the fire. It felt electric, a surge of hope washing away her earlier doubts. Just then, the night echoed with a distant rumble, a storm brewing on the horizon. "What was that?" someone shouted, their voice tinged with alarm. Carol's heart raced again. "We need to be ready. If we're going to dive into this, we have to brace ourselves for whatever comes with it." And in that moment, as they looked at each other with shared resolve, Carol couldn't shake the feeling that their journey had now shifted into high gear. But the question lingered, were they ready to face the storm? Would they uncover something beautiful or unleash chaos upon Maplewood's tightly woven community? Carol couldn't help but wonder where the path ahead would truly lead. The night sky darkened, swirling with heavy clouds as the distant rumble grew closer. Carol glanced at Mia, who stood clutching the folded map, small but steady. The shadows flickered, and for a brief moment, Carol saw fear flicker across Mia's face. She reached out, squeezing Mia's shoulder gently. "Hey, it's going to be okay," Carol said, her voice steady, trying to comfort them both. Ethan's enthusiasm broke through the tension. "Look, storms are just part of the adventure. Rain might even help us find what we're looking for." He was right, though it did little to ease the tightening in Carol's chest. Tom rolled his eyes. "Adventurous or not, it's still dangerous. We need a plan." "You really think this little map will guide us to something worth risking that?" Carol felt her heart surge at Tom's lack of faith, but then remembered what it was like to feel lost and overlooked. "This isn't just a map, Tom. It's a chance to change everything, to discover who we really are," she argued back, her resolve sharpening. Each word mattered now. As the first drops of rain began to patter against the leaves around them, the group's energy transformed. They scrambled to grab supplies, their hesitant excitement morphing into action. "Let us make this quick," Ethan shouted, gathering a flashlight and a rope from his backpack. Slowly, uncertainty melted away under the weight of shared purpose. Everyone took a breath, savoring the moment that felt like the beginning of something extraordinary. Mia tightened her grip on the map, her eyes wide with inspiration. "I can help lead the way. I remember exactly where it is." The path through the woods was dark, the rain turning the ground to muddy flecks under their shoes. Still, Carol felt renewed hope pulse through her. They moved forward, the group packed closely together, sharing whispers and laughter, all apprehensions fading into the background. As they ventured deeper, Mia's heat and excitement lit the way. Every now and then, she'd stop to point out a landmark from her drawing, the anticipation rippling through the air. The landscape transformed gradually, the trees morphing into shapes that seemed to dance with the wind. Then they reached an opening, a small clearing where the trees gave way to a hillside that sloped down into a small, shallow cave. The sound of rushing water could be heard nearby, but the moonlight broke through the clouds and illuminated the ground. "Here," Mia exclaimed, hardly able to contain her excitement. "This is it. This feels right." But as they gathered around, examining the entrance to the cave, something caught Carol's eye. A series of strange markings etched into the stone surface. Her breath caught as she leaned closer. These weren't just ordinary scratches. They were intricate and purposeful. "Look at this," she whispered, running her fingers delicately over the symbols. The group fell silent, each one leaning in, astonished. "What does it mean?" someone asked, though voices trembled with both excitement and fear. "I don't know," Carol admitted, a weight settling at the pit of her stomach. "But we need to find out." Just then, a sharp crack of thunder echoed high above, a reminder that the storm was almost upon them. "Guys, we should get inside now," Tom urged, peering into the darkness of the cave, where unknown shadows lingered. They crowded closer, feeling the pull of adventure shift, yet unease circulated. What secrets were hidden within? And just as the rain roared down and the wind swirled around them, Carol couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to unravel not only the Earth's hidden wonders but perhaps even the secrets of themselves. What awaited them in the depths of the cave? Would they be ready for what lay beyond those ancient symbols? The air inside the cave was cool and damp, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. As they stepped over the threshold, Carol instinctively shivered. Felt like a portal to another world. Mia was the first to move, leading the way with her flashlight, the beam cutting through the dimness like a knife. "Stay close," Ethan called out, his voice echoing slightly against the rough stone walls. They followed Mia deeper into the cave, the sound of their footsteps squelching against the wet ground. The walls were slick, glistening under Mia's flashlight. Intriguing shapes began to emerge, shadows that danced like serpents along the walls, providing an additional thrill. Carol's heart raced. These markings, whatever they were, seemed to pulse with secrets waiting to be revealed. "Look up there." Mia pointed to an archway where the rock formations twisted and turned into the ceiling. Strange mineral formations hung like stalactites, shimmering in hues of blue and green. "Beautiful," Carol murmured, her mind racing with thoughts. The markings on the walls seemed almost alive. Did they tell a story? Was this the key to what they were searching for? Tom stepped forward, the unease creeping in as he scrutinized the symbols. "These look ancient. What if they mean something dangerous? Or something wonderful?" Carol countered, refusing to let fear overwhelm them. Ethan knelt beside a cluster of symbols. "Maybe it's a map? What if it leads us somewhere?" His excitement was infectious, jolting them back to the thrill of discovery. The storm above roared louder, its fury reverberating through the cave, heightening their anticipation. Suddenly, Mia gasped and knelt, tracing one of the symbols with her fingers. "Guys, I think these are dates. Events." She paused, looking at each of them in turn, her eyes wide. "What if we're not just looking at a treasure map? What if these markings hold the history of everything before us?" Carol's pulse quickened. "History? You mean, like secrets of the past? Events that shaped our world?" "Yes," Mia said, enthusiasm bubbling in her voice. "It's like we're standing in a library of lost knowledge." Tom shifted, uncertain but intrigued. "Let us not get ahead of ourselves. Even if it is history, we don't know what we're getting into. Maybe it's time to find out," Carol replied, feeling the swell of bravery swell inside her. "What if we discover something that changes everything?" They all exchanged looks, and for a moment, the fear was replaced by a shared thrill. Mia moved further inside, eager to unravel more mysteries. Just then, the storm escalated, a booming crash of thunder shaking the ground. The cave shuddered. "We need to hurry," Ethan urged. "This could be our only chance to unlock whatever secrets are hidden here before it gets any worse outside." The urgency quickened their steps as they pressed deeper. Shadows closed in, the narrow passageways diverging into unknown chambers. Carol felt the weight of the moment, a mix of excitement and fear cradled in her chest. Then Mia stopped so abruptly that Carol nearly bumped into her. "This symbol," she said breathlessly, pointing to a larger marking that glowed faintly against the darker rock. "I've seen this in books about ancient cultures. It's connected to the lore of the Mesozoic Era." Carol stared, trying to contain her reaction. The vast implications of their discovery washed over her. The legacy of a forgotten world was right in front of them, precariously waiting to be uncovered. But as they gathered closer, A hushed rumble reverberated beneath their feet. The cave trembled, and a crack spread through the ground. "Get back!" Tom shouted. They backed away just in time as a section of the cave wall collapsed, dust and rocks spilling everywhere, masking their view. When it cleared, a hidden passageway revealed itself, beckoning with the promise of secrets within. With hearts racing, they exchanged glances, a silent agreement passing between them. What should they do? "Should we?" Mia whispered, glancing at Carol with a mix of fear and hope. Carol felt the heat of decision prickling at her skin. "We've come this far. We have to see where it leads." As they approached the new opening, the shadows seemed to whisper their names, promising adventure and danger in equal measure. What would they find on the other side? Would it be a treasure, or could it hold the shadows of their past? The choice felt monumental, and time dripped away like the rain outside, each second heavy with possibility and uncertainty. With a collective breath, they stepped into the newly revealed passageway. The air was thick with the scent of earth and minerals, electrifying their curiosity. The narrow corridor twisted and turned, the light from Mia's flashlight glinting off the rough walls, drawing them ever deeper. "Wow," Ethan whispered, his voice barely above a hush. "This is unreal." Every step echoed softly, the sounds swallowed by the cavern's depths. Carol's heart pounded in her chest. The fear that had once lingered around the edges began to morph into an exhilarating thrill. It was as if they were walking into a living dream, one that promised revelation and discovery. She glanced at Mia, whose wide eyes sparkled with wonder, and then at Tom, whose guarded expression seemed to soften. "Do you guys feel that?" Tom asked suddenly, his voice laced with excitement. "It's like something is pulling us in." Carol nodded, the energy in the air nearly palpable. As they pushed forward, it wasn't just the cave that felt alive. It was them. Mia halted, the beam of her flashlight landing on a wide alcove. Images danced across the walls, unfamiliar shapes intertwined with symbols they had seen before. But there was something different here, something more vivid and vibrant. "Look at this," she exclaimed, daring to step closer. The figures appeared to tell a story, a scene of colossal creatures roaming under a sky that shone with unfamiliar hues. Carol squinted, her imagination igniting. "Are those dinosaurs?" she whispered. "Yes," Mia shouted, positively brimming with enthusiasm. This sight could be rare, a link to the past that even scientists haven't uncovered. As they studied the bizarre illustrations, Tom's frown reappeared, darkening the atmosphere for a moment. "But is this dangerous? What if we're not supposed to be here?" Carol could feel the tension tightening around them. "We can't fear what we might find. This could lead to something amazing." Her voice wavered, yet it held a conviction that surprised even herself. Suddenly, a faint noise drifted to them, a low, rhythmic thumping that reverberated through the stone. They exchanged uneasy glances. Tom's eyes widened, a fear that seemed to electrify the air settling over them. "What is that?" "Maybe it's just water dripping," Carol proposed, trying to project an air of calm. But the tremor in her own voice felt like a lie. "No," Mia said, glancing toward the widening shadow of the alcove. "It's too distinct." It was growing louder now, enveloping them like a shroud. Ethan jumped back, his instinct to flee battling against the pull of discovery. "We should leave now." Carol wanted to shout at him to stay. They were standing on the cusp of something monumental, something that might rewrite their understanding of history. But the rapid beat of her heart echoed Ethan's fear, and she felt uncertainty clawing at her resolve. "We can't just run away," she said finally, her voice steadier now. "What if this is what we needed? Knowledge is power." But before they could deliberate further, the noise crescendoed into a vibration that shook the very ground beneath their feet. The walls seemed to pulse as if the cave itself were alive. Then, just as abruptly as it began, the noise stilled, leaving behind an eerie silence. What would the silence reveal? Would the cavern tell them its secrets, or had they awakened something that was best left undisturbed? Each of them felt the weight of the moment, poised on a knife edge between fear and wonder. With a deep breath, Carol reached out to touch the wall, her fingers brushing against the cool stone. She felt a connection, as if the ancient past were reaching back to her. But what had they really awakened? As they stood frozen, the shadows around them seemed to magnetize, thickening with possibility. And at that moment, a crack formed near the floor, splitting the ground further, sending a cascade of small rocks tumbling down. A chill ran down Carola's spine. "We need to move," she breathed, feeling the urgency but also a nagging reluctance to leave this powerful moment behind. They turned back, but curiosity gripped them as they took one last glance at the walls, now illuminated by the last flicker of Mia's flashlight. "What if we're meant to discover this?" Tom murmured, almost to himself. Could the echoes of their journey begin to unlock the weight of history? Or would they find themselves weighed down by shadows they couldn't escape? The cave promised adventure, but it also threatened danger. With their adventure on the cusp of unfolding, they had to confront one question. What lay ahead behind the next turn? The air turned colder as they cautiously backed away from the alcove. Carol could feel her heart rate escalating, pounding against her ribs with each movement. Shadows danced ominously along the walls as they turned their backs on the mesmerizing drawings, but curiosity continued to gnaw at her. What if their assumptions about history had been wrong? Over there, Mia pointed down another narrow corridor, her enthusiasm unwavering despite the growing tension. "It looks like it opens up into a larger chamber." Tom hesitated, the fear in his eyes present but battling the same eagerness that lit Mia's face. But what if we're just waking something up that should stay dormant? Carol caught his gaze and felt that flicker of doubt creeping into her own mind again, the worry that maybe they had crossed a line. But there was also something exhilarating about discovery. "We can't let fear control us," she said, trying to inject confidence into her voice. "Let us just take a quick peek." With a cautious nod, they ventured deeper into the cave, the walls narrowing as they approached the next chamber. Suddenly, the rhythmic thumping that had made the ground tremble before began again. Faster this time. It pulsed through the air like a heartbeat. "Is it coming from the larger chamber?" Ethan whispered, his hands trembling slightly. "Maybe," Carol replied, wishing she sounded more assured. A part of her was terrified, yet another part thrived on the unknown. As they passed through a tight bend, the sounds intensified, echoing off the stone surfaces and swirling around them until it engulfed their senses. Mia managed to reach ahead first, breaking into an awe-filled gasp as she stood at the threshold of an expansive cavern. "Guys, look!" They filed in behind her, eyes widening at the breathtaking sight. Stalactites cascaded from the ceiling like frozen waterfalls, and bioluminescent moss glimmered in shades of blue and green, illuminating the chamber with an otherworldly glow. In the heart of the cavern lay a massive altar-like structure, hewn from the very rock itself, engraved with the same peculiar symbols that adorned the alcove. "Unbelievable," Ethan murmured, stepping forward. "This is like nothing I've ever seen." But instead of joining in his wonder, Tom stood still, an apprehensive expression crossing his face. "Feels wrong." "What are you talking about?" Mia countered, excitement bubbling over. "This could be a major archaeological find. We have to document this." Tom looked back at the wall, a sense of foreboding shadowing his features. "I don't think it's meant to be disturbed. We should go." Carol sensed the shifting energy around them, a tension hanging like a storm cloud. But what if it's more than just an altar? What if it holds secrets we can't even imagine? Just then, the thumping escalated, rhythmically pulsing louder as if responding to their words. The ground shook slightly beneath them. A flash of white light enveloped the chamber, momentarily blinding them. "Mia, turn the flashlight off," Ethan shouted, panic setting in as the light vanished. They found themselves standing in near darkness, only the bioluminescent moss casting an eerie glow around them. But now, the altar seemed to shimmer, pulsating with light in tandem with the deep reverberations. "What just happened?" Carol breathed, feeling a chill run through her. "Is there a way out?" Tom asked, barely concealing his fear. For a moment, she felt their world slip further from control, and thrill turned to dread. The questions gnawed at them, Had the cave chosen to reveal itself, or had they intruded upon something that should have remained hidden? Then, a deep rumble shook the ground again. The altar glowed brighter, responding to something beyond their understanding. A soft, melodic tone emerged, weaving through the air, striking a chord deep within Carol. Her heart raced at the sound, resonating with a strange sense of familiarity. "What's happening?" Mia whispered, the wonder in her voice now replaced with uncertainty. They all felt it then, a collective instinct to either run or move closer. As the energy thickened, a voice seemed to swell around them, though it was indecipherable, an echo of long-lost ancient wisdom pulsating through the very earth. Each soul stood at a crossroads, to touch the unknown or flee the awakening that might change everything they thought they knew. But then, in the midst of uncertainty, a shadow flickered across Carol's vision. She turned just in time to see something monstrous loom in the darkness beyond the light. Would they uncover the truths buried within the earth? Or would they pay a price for venturing too close? The shadows shifted, swirling like liquid darkness as the monstrous shape stepped into view. It was massive, its form earthly yet otherworldly, as if it were a creature born of stone and shadow. Glistening scales glimmered under the faint light from the bioluminescent moss, reflecting hues of emerald and sapphire. Carol's breath caught in her throat, fear gripping her like a vice. "Mia, back away," Tom whispered fiercely, but his voice trembled. "Wait, just wait," Mia pleaded, wide-eyed. "It's beautiful." The enormous creature froze, its eyes locking onto hers. Something flickered in those depths: intelligence, curiosity, perhaps even a hint of understanding. The throbbing heartbeat of the cave seemed to synchronize with its movements, creating a symphony of sound that resonated deep within Carol's bones. "Don't move," Ethan warned, suddenly cold. He was backing away, but with every step, the altar pulsed in rhythm with their fear, the melodic tone becoming sharper, more insistent. "Do you think it's trying to communicate?" Carol murmured, stepping forward despite the knot of dread tightening in her stomach. The idea filled her with an odd sense of connection. Mia's voice trembled as she responded. "Or it's warning us to stay away." The creature shifted slightly, its gaze darting to the altar. A low growl rumbled from deep within, its sound rich and resonant, echoing eerily in the cavern. The air thickened with tension, a battle between the urge to flee and the allure of the unknown. "Maybe it's protecting something," Carol whispered, drawn closer to the altar, feeling a strange pull toward the glowing symbols. Each time she looked at them, she felt the echoes of lost stories, histories that could redefine everything they thought they knew. "Or it's the guardian of whatever secrets lie ahead," Tom added, glancing warily at the creature. "We can't ignore the warning signs. The vibrations, the darkness. This place isn't welcoming." The altar glimmered, and with that shimmer, the creature focused on Carol once more. She could sense something monumental lurking beneath the surface of this encounter, a truth woven into the fabric of the cave. It was a chance to unlock hidden wisdom, but at what cost? "What if it's a choice?" Mia said softly, "to learn or to turn back?" Carol felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. A decision lay before them, heavy with implications. "But what if we don't understand?" she said, feeling the tremor in her voice. "What if we make it angry?" Tom clenched his fists, trembling. "Or what if it doesn't want to harm us? What if we're just misinterpreting everything?" Suddenly, another rumble echoed through the chamber, and the creature took a step forward. The ground shook beneath them. Carol stumbled, then steadied herself, heart racing. It was challenging them, daring them to tread the line between fear and wonder. Their eyes darted among one another, the uncertainty hanging thick like smoke. This was a defining moment, their desires at odds with the echoing warnings. Each of them felt it, a primal pull toward something enormous, ancient, and potentially dangerous. What if this was the truth they had been chasing all along? A glimpse into a world they weren't meant to see? As the air thickened with anticipation, Carol's heart drummed in her chest. Would they take the leap into the unknown, or would the creature send them away, pushing them back into the embrace of ignorance? Before they could decide, The creature let out a haunting melodic cry, one that resonated deep within their souls. They stood frozen, each of them teetering on the brink of a choice that might alter their fates forever. With a single pulse of light, the altar shifted, and a chasm opened within its stone face, a mesmerizing path leading into the heart of the unknown. But the creature lingered, its eyes locked on Carol once more. Was it a guardian or a guide? And just as the air hummed with possibilities, they heard a distant sound growing in the darkness behind them, a reminder that the choice was not solely theirs to make. Time was short. Could they resist what lay ahead? Or would they plummet into the depths of a hidden world filled with incredible life-changing secrets? A tense silence settled over the chamber, thick as the shadows that clung to the walls. Carol felt her heart pounding loudly, drowning out the cave's haunting echoes. The choice before them loomed larger than ever. "Mia, are you sure about this?" Tom's voice cracked, laced with both fear and disbelief. "I don't know," she admitted, her eyes wide, sparkling with the allure of discovery. "But what if it means something? What if it's a key to understanding everything?" Carol's gaze flickered to the creature, which remained still, eyes penetrating like twin beacons in the dark. It radiated a sense of power and wisdom, yet there was a gentleness in its gaze that sparked curiosity rather than fear. "I can't shake the feeling that it's trying to tell us something," she said, her voice gaining strength. "Maybe this is an opportunity, a moment we can't turn away from. We may not get another chance." Ethan shuffled nervously, stepping closer to the altar. "But what if something terrible happens? What if we uncover something we weren't meant to find?" The ground under their feet rumbled again, but this time, it was more like a deep, vibrating hum in sync with their rising tension. Carol took a breath, steeling herself against the wave of doubts. "Life is about taking risks, right? We came here seeking answers." Mia reached for Carol's hand, squeezing it tight. "Whatever happens, we face it together. I believe that creature wants us to come closer." The creature shifted slightly, tilting its head in a gesture that almost felt inviting. Its scales gleamed more brightly, illuminating the cryptic symbols on the altar. Each glow seemed to pulse like a heartbeat, urging them forward. "Okay," Tom exhaled, his courage faltering. But something in the depths of the cavern was calling to him, to a voice that whispered promises of untold stories. "Let us do this." With a collective breath, they took their first step toward the altar. Light bathed them as they crossed the threshold, the warmth beckoning them deeper into the place of secrets. As they walked, the air shimmered with possibilities. The chasm was alive with colors and sounds, vibrant energy swirling around them like an embrace. Carol felt her inhibitions dissolve, replaced by a growing sense of belonging, as if the cave welcomed them. Then, suddenly, without warning, the chasm began to close behind them, the darkness swallowing the path they'd just crossed. Panic surged through their group as they turned back to see the gap narrowing. "Wait!" Tom shouted, reaching back, but it was too late. The cave sealed shut, leaving them in a stunning yet daunting expanse of light and sound. "What have we done?" Ethan whispered, horror etched across his face. "We have to keep going," Carol urged, her heart racing, unleashing a torrent of adrenaline. "There's no turning back now. We need to find out why we were brought here." Just then, the creature stirred, moving closer, its form breaking the vibrant light. It lowered itself, exposing the intricate patterns woven into its scales, appearing almost as a tapestry of the cosmos, stars, mountains, rivers. As adrenaline coursed through Carol, she felt a bond forming between the creature and her. In that moment, something profound clicked within her. "It's here to guide us," she declared, her voice steady, filled with newfound resolve. But before they could absorb the significance of the bond, a thunderous roar echoed from beyond the entrance, an ominous reminder that they were not alone in this hidden realm. "Is there something else out there?" Mia asked, trembling. "Whatever it is, we have to be ready," Carol breathed, steeling her nerves. With the creature leading the way, they stepped further into the unknown. But the echoes of danger lurked at the edge of their minds, both a threat and an invitation. What awaited them in this wild, uncharted territory? Would they uncover hidden truths or unleash ancient storms? The air charged with anticipation as Carol and her group pressed deeper into the luminous cavern. They clung to the light and the creature that guided them, its scale tapestry glistening with ancient stories, a canvas that cradled the echoes of the past. Each step felt monumental, steeped in their shared bravery. "Are you ready?" Carol murmured, glancing back at her companions. They nodded, a pact of solidarity shaping their resolve. Mia squeezed her hand tighter, the spark of hope flickering like a candle against the vast unknown. They ventured further, the walls shimmering brighter, pulsating as if responding to their presence. With each heartbeat, the creature remained close, protecting them, leading them, almost anticipating their fears. Suddenly, the soft glow transformed into a radiant burst of light, illuminating a massive chamber before them. Gasps erupted from their lips, awe washing over the group. The cavern opened into a breathtaking expanse, vaulted ceilings adorned with phosphorescent formations that twinkled like stars in an ink-black sky. The ground beneath them sparkled with colorful minerals, twinkling like a treasure trove awaiting discovery. In the center of the chamber, an enormous stone structure loomed, a majestic mural covering its surface. The intricate designs depicted colossal dinosaurs traversing magnificent landscapes. Each creature seemed alive with motion, frozen in time, telling stories of growth, survival, and connection. "Do you see what this is?" Mia breathed, her excitement effervescing. "It's like a history of our planet." But before they could bask in their discovery, the rumbling echoed through the chamber once more, louder this time, shaking the ground beneath them. Carol's heart raced. "We need to figure out what this means. This isn't just an archaeological find. It's something bigger." Tom, hesitating on the outskirts of the light, shook his head. "But unleashing these secrets could be dangerous. We don't know what we're tampering with, or what we could learn," Carol countered. "This knowledge could change everything for Maplewood for us." The weight of her words lingered in the air, igniting a spark of determination. Mia stepped forward, presenting her flashlight like a beacon against shadows. "Look at this section." She pointed, her voice brimming with awe. "It's unlike the rest, almost as if it's welcoming us." And right there, woven within the mural, were more symbols closely resembling the markings they'd seen in the cave. Carol felt a pull, an earthy connection. She stepped closer, led by instinct, placing her fingers upon the surface. A shudder coursed through the ground, and as she withdrew her hand, the chamber erupted into a kaleidoscope of colors, ancient tales cascading around them like shooting stars. The creature stepped forward beside her, its massive frame shimmering with approval. Suddenly, the sounds of roaring grew louder, sharper, merging seamlessly with the vibrant visuals before them. Shadows flickered as if they were joined by the spirits of the past, the dinosaurs stepping forth, letting their presence envelop the chamber. "Look," Ethan exclaimed. "They're not just illustrations. It's like they're alive." The shadows shifted, taking form before their eyes, revealing themselves to be echoes of the past, elements of a history long submerged. Carol felt herself smiling, tears of joy glistening. This place was a treasure, a bond forged between past and present. This is what we were meant to find. This is the heart of Maplewood. The creatures began to merge back, receding into the mural, leaving behind a lingering warmth, each heartbeat, each thrum drawing them closer. With every shimmer, they began to understand. This place wasn't just a secret. It was an invitation to remember, to embrace who they were and who they could be. "Are we really seeing this?" Tom whispered, all replacing his earlier skepticism. "What happens now?" A deep rumble echoed one last time, signifying an answer. The light pulsed intensely, and the cave about them shook, but instead of fear, they felt a wave of acceptance wash over them. The realization dawned: this chamber was a bridge, not just to ancient histories, but to futures intertwined. Deep down, they knew the only path was forward. "We have to share this with Maplewood," Carol asserted, every bit of courage surging within her. "This could unite people. We can build something beautiful together," Mia echoed, her voice steady like the earth beneath them. "Yes, Ethan shouted, grinning. Let us show them what we've found. Let us resurrect not just history but the spirit of our town. Carol felt renewed, every word echoing in her heart, the affection uniting them. Just then, the mural shifted, revealing fresh images that began to spin between the ancient one's images of townsfolk, neighbors working together, families united in joy, hope entwined tightly with their desires. And just like that, the shadows dissipated and the cave illuminated with a sense of belonging. Carol realized they had found not just a hidden world but their community's heartbeat, a call to action waiting to transform not only their lives but everyone else in Maplewood, as they stood together. An overwhelming wave of purpose and unity surged through them, ready to embrace the challenges ahead, armed with the hidden wisdom of the earth beneath their feet. The future sparkled brightly before them, an open landscape rife with possibility. Let us go home, Carol smiled, feeling the fragment of James' spirit beside her, urging her forward. And they stepped back into the world above, armed with a love that would rekindle Maplewood's essence, forging dreams carved into the very fabric of their new reality. This was their moment, and they were ready to dive into the adventure ahead, inspired by the echoes of their past. So what are you waiting for? You need to subscribe now to follow how their journey unfolds. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread the word about their awe-inspiring adventure. Comment your favorite part and your feelings about this transformation. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this incredible tale.